Hey there, it's Kat, and this is Brews and Reviews. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you guys about my goals. We're through a quarter of the year already, somehow. I'm not really sure how that happened, but we're in April, and I am very confused about it. But I kind of thought that this would be a nice time to sort of check in and evaluate the goals that I set myself at the beginning of the year. I was watching a video by Ellie from Earl Grey Books, and she was sort of evaluating her goals rather than just going through them and checking in, and sort of reflecting on how much that goal was relevant to what is going on now. And I thought that was really interesting because we change as the year moves, we go through things, we have different things come up, and our priorities change. And I think it's so interesting to take a look at the goals and the big plans that we all had at the beginning of the year and sort of see how we're going and how actually relevant any of those are to our reading. So I'm going to go through like my reading goals and talk to you about how I'm doing and about sort of how I want to progress with the different goals that I've got. So first we'll start with the number of books that I've read. This is a goal that kind of just trucks along for me. I set my Goodreads goal at 60 at the beginning of the year, and then I increase it gradually as I near it because I want a goal that is still attainable but doesn't put too much pressure on me. So currently it's still 60, but I do actually need to hire that soon because I have read 51 books so far. And actually I'm really impressed with that because that does include the 4 books that I've already read in April up to this point. But for 3 months of the year, I think that is actually quite impressive, and I feel like it has definitely got me on target to reach 175 books, maybe more. I would like it to be more, just because I kind of want to beat myself in my reading from last year, but I don't really think I need to adjust anything, and it is just a goal that sort of moves along as it does. And if I don't reach 175 books by the end of the year, I'm not too bothered about it because I know that I'm doing my best with reading. I go into reading slumps and I'm not going to put pressure on myself for it. I feel like I've set myself up quite well for the rest of the year, and I can only really hope to continue. One of the ways that I'm actually doing that is that I set myself another goal, which was to read 13 books a month. Because last year I realised that I was averaging about 12 books, and I was like, well, I'm just going to increase that number by 1. And then it still sort of puts me at a nice point for reading every month. I just tried to do some mental maths, so this could be terrible because I am terrible at maths, but I think that's like 156 books if I manage to read 13 books a month, and I think that 13 books a month really works for me. 12 I can sort of seem to do just on average anyway, and 13 it just pushes me to read that one extra book, and I'm like, yes. And if I'm, reading a lot more in the month, which I have been, because in January I read 17 books, then February I read 13, and then in March I also read 17 books. It's a bit of a wave at the moment, and we'll see how that progresses. But I am happy with having read more, and I like how that goal is going. I don't want to change it from 13 to increase it because I feel like 13 is a good target for me without making me feel really pressure, and that still suits me. The next goal I had set myself was to continue on with the David Gebel project, and I am so failing at this. I think I have to realise that it does take me a while to do things for this project, and it's not because of the reading at all. The reading is absolutely fine. I love reading Gebel's books. It's the filming a review afterwards and the editing. I think I put so much pressure on myself. I think I've just realised that I am going to take this slow. It can be a long project for me rather than trying to do like one every month. It's just not going to happen because I put so much of myself into the reviews and it doesn't always come out the way that I want to say it. So I am just sort of looking at this goal as sort of a more relaxed goal. I would love by the end of this year to get to the end of the Draenei Saga and to have filmed reviews for all of those, but given the fact that I've only read 1 and posted 1 review so far, I haven't posted the review for the one that I read this year yet, I'm not thinking it's super likely. I am going to be trying a little bit harder, but I think with this one I just have to not push myself because I don't want to get into a funk about it. I don't want to feel pressure about it because I already put a lot of pressure on myself. I just want to sort of review Gebel's books in the way that I know that they should be reviewed, and I just don't feel like I'm up to it. I don't know, is that like imposter syndrome where you're like a book reviewer but you don't feel like you can review things? I don't know, I feel weird about it. So I really want to do the reviews, but I want to do them justice, which is why I have to sort of leave myself some distance between filming the review and editing the review so that I can feel less feelings about it. I don't know, I'm very involved in it, so it's taken me a long time, and I've just sort of got to accept that this is a goal that's going to take me quite a long time, and I need to not put too much pressure on myself, but also a little bit of pressure, but not too much. Another thing that I set myself at the beginning of the year was a physical TBR. This TBR had 20 books on it, and I thought that was a reasonable amount. My digital TBR has the same number of books on it, and I just sort of wanted to work my way through the books that currently exist on my shelves. And for my digital TBR, I wanted to work my way through ebooks and audiobooks that have sort of been sat on my accounts for a while and I just haven't picked up. I really want to like push myself to actually engage with those books, otherwise they're just going to sit there forever. I think 20 books in physical and digital TBRs were quite good, really. I put 30 physical books on there last time and there was just no way. I think I got to about 19 and I just never quite made it, but I felt like 20 was more of an achievable goal, and I still feel like that because at this point in time I've actually managed to read 7 out of 20 physical books and 7 out of 20 digital books, and that's great as well because I also have 2 digital TBR books in progress at the moment, so I'm feeling pretty good about those goals. I think that they are very achievable and I just have to be in the mood to read some of them. I have also pushed myself to read some of the ones that I was less keen to pick up, and I'm feeling good about these goals, so I'm not going to change anything about them. I've been trying to at least read 2 a month from each TBR so that I sort of keep up with it and keep going, and that's the only sort of pressure I've been putting on myself, is to try and work those into TBRs with various readathons that I'm doing and things, and just sort of keep it fresh in my mind. I don't want to change anything about how I'm doing with this goal because I think I am doing quite well with it. Now the next TBR that I also have ongoing is the 30 books to read before I'm 30 TBR that I set myself, I think, at the beginning of last year. This is a 30 book TBR, which I purposefully put quite a lot of big books on and quite a lot of books that I wanted to push myself to read. So there are sometimes complete trilogies on there. I think one of them was a quartet and I was like, I'm going to read them because I just need to get to them. And actually I'm doing surprisingly well at this goal. I have read 17 out of 30 books on that TBR. My birthday is November 6th, so I have to read 13 books before then. And actually when I think about how quickly time is moving, it's a little bit harder than I'd like to think. But I do also have one of those books in progress, and it is The Stand, which is, like, as you know, absolutely massive. And I have another book from that TBR on my April TBR. We've got 7 months left, and if I basically read 2 a month, then I should be able to complete this goal. I may try and accelerate that because I really just need to get to a lot of these and just push myself to do it. I think I need to increase the frequency that I am reading them, and I think I will start that from May. I'll maybe try and read 3 a month if I can, unless one of those is a huge book, because I know that there are some that are like 700 pages and I count that as a huge book. For me that is an intimidating read, and I will try and space those ones out because there's like Priory of the Orange Tree, Kingdom of Ash, Midnight Sun. Those books are on there, and obviously I'm currently reading The Stand, so I'm just gonna work my way through. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be great. But yeah, I think I'm gonna try and increase the frequency while I'm in the mood to sort of finish these books. I don't want to like fall out of wanting to finish any of these, so hopefully I'll be okay with this one. So another goal I set myself was the A to Z challenge, and I decided that I was going to do it slightly differently this year, and I am doing it by authors' first names, which I thought was going to be a bit different because I was finding like the A to Z challenge was great except for like a couple of letters like Y and J for some reason. That was weirdly hard. But this time I was like, authors' first names, I'm gonna smash it. Turns out that is actually very difficult. I've read 12 out of 26 of the letters so far, but it turns out that I do read a lot of authors whose names begin with S and L. Just a lot of them. And I'm just a little bit stuck because I just keep trying to read all these books that are on various TBRs and things and not thinking about it. And I'm like, wow, I'm just really not really making progress with this goal. And honestly, I feel like this goal may drop off towards the end of the year. I'm not putting any pressure on myself to do it. I thought it was going to be easy and sort of thought it was going to be something that I could do along with everything else, but I'm not going to go out and seek authors with specific lettered names. It's just going to be one of those things. It's sort of dropped to the bottom of my priority list, and it will be what it will be, but you know, oh well. I'm also taking part in the Buzzword readathon, and I am actively going out of my way to read one book, at least one book from each of the categories. Even when I know that I probably am not going to like the book, I'm like, I will complete this, because it's my first time doing it, and for some reason I have really put the pressure on to at least read one book. Even if I don't own any of them, I will find a free book and I will read that book and I will most likely be disappointed. My January read is screaming at me right now because that was not a good book at all. And then to wrap this book up, I want to talk about like another sort of background goal that I've got. It's my series to finish goal, and this one's sort of just been trucking along, and I've been moving with it, but I kind of want to focus on finishing a few more series because I've finished one series so far this year, and that feels a little bit sad because it's March. I do have to say that I have been actively reading from 15 different series though. So like I've read at least one book for 15 series, or am currently reading a book for that series. So by halfway through the year, I would like to have completed 6 series and just sort of go from there. It shouldn't actually be that hard. It sounds like it should be quite difficult because there are a lot of series that I haven't finished on my series to continue list, but some of them are duologies. Like, I should really be able to finish a duology when I've already read the first book, and I feel like I could, so why am I not making progress with that? That's something that I really want to focus on towards like the next quarter of the year, and I feel like it's something that really is achievable if I put my mind to it, so it's something I'm really going to focus on. And I'm going to look back on this video and I'm probably not going to have completed this goal, and then I'm going to be really sad at myself. So please yell at me to finish at least the duologies that I've got going on, because what is wrong with me that I haven't done that yet? So anyway, yeah, that was the video. This is me reflecting on my goals and sort of seeing where I'm at with them and how much I am sort of wanting to continue with them, or if I'm going to change anything that I'm doing towards actually achieving them. So if you made it this far into the video, then please leave me like a pen emoji, like a pen or a paper, something like that, because I write all of my goals down in my little bullet journal and I tick them off as I go, because I like to feel the achievement of actually checking boxes. I don't know why, it just makes me really happy to go, oh, I see that, I've done that, wow. So yeah, if you like this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!